So I'm gonna just like quickly like start. Again, I don't think it's like an official session in a sense that you can always like stop me like in the chat, ask any question. Uh, but let me just like start quickly by introducing a little bit the topic and a little bit about myself. So the idea is that what I'm trying to talk about here is to apply the 5P marketing mix model to online graduate programs. And the major theme that I want to highlight is that yes, we need to look at those 5 Ps in combination, but also we have to also look at them in separation as well. Why? Because sometimes we need to pay attention to each and every P compared to our competitors. Because sometimes people compete with us on, let's say, promotion, and different universities might actually be competing with you on the price and so on. Uh, yeah, well, unfortunately, Rutgers didn't change my bulb. I put like a request for like the past 3 weeks, and they haven't changed it. But there's like two, so I'm a little bit darker. I'm sorry for that, Adrian. Okay, excellent, excellent. So, uh, so just as a quick introduction about myself, so I'm currently the director of the online masters in human resources management here at Rutgers University. I'm also an associate teaching professor. I've been in academia for 18 years, and also in the industry, I've also served for more than 5 years. I've designed and delivered a lot of courses online, in person, more than 200. Mostly, I teach in strategic human resources management and uh, and global HRM, staffing, HR related courses. And I research knowledge management, the impact of AI on HR functional excellence, employee retention and motivation. Those are my major interests. And I founded this online program we have here for the Masters in Human Resources Management. And I founded it, and it was launched in fall 2019. So I kind of like, had the experience of building an online program from scratch, which I believe it's kind of like a great opportunity that I had in my career. Uh, so the idea is that what I'm gonna go over is that to understand the marketing mix and explore all the 5 Ps, we're gonna focus on analyzing the product, its feature, and the value of the online academic programs. Mainly, we're focusing on their ability to attract prospective students and enhance their satisfaction, and mainly also drive referrals. I'm going to also talk about the pricing and how we should price our online programs, uh, and look at how to balance affordability with also the quality of the program. We're going to also talk about what are the major channels for promotions, advertisement, how it mainly differ from other programs and on-campus programs. I'm going to talk about the place also, and then the people involved, the student counselors, product directors, faculties, etc. So I'm going to use program and product interchangeably during the presentation as well. Uh, so the first thing that I would say always, you have to look at how to target. What are you targeting? Who's your target market? Who's the niche that you're serving, right? And also look at other programs that you have within the department or even sister departments, and make sure to at least minimize cannibalization or harm. So, for example, in our program, we had the on-campus program, and the on-campus program was very successful in attracting 4+ students. So those are the ones that come from the undergraduate into the graduate. And then it was very successful in attracting international students. We have also articulation agreements. We have the early professionals in New Jersey in the human resources management. They also come to this program. We have also other, fresh candidates that come from other majors that decide to do a master's in human resources. And then, we have early career people usually coming into that program. The problem here is that it had limited success in recruiting out-of-state students, and especially people also that are living in the, beyond the 1 hour radius commute. right? And also, it had limited success in recruiting mid-career HR professionals and advanced career HR professionals, and others that want to shift career that are advanced also, like they have experience. And why? Simply because of flexibility, the lack of flexibility. So, so again, when we try to like do our online program, we want to target those niche that we haven't really targeted or we weren't able to attract in the in-person program or on-campus program. And so the way we did it is that we added another requirement, which is a 4 years plus experience, and that by itself filtered or excluded most of the people that go to the in-person program. And we were able to attract more mid-career HR professionals, advanced career HR professionals, and mid-career non-HR, if you want, professionals, and a little bit of outstate professionals as well. Again, the problem is that we weren't able to recruit in-state and out-of-state fresh early career HR professionals because we didn't want to cannibalize, if you want, the in-persons. So always there is a trade-off and in your targeting. But it's very important to identify from the beginning who you're going to target, so that hopefully you maximize success for the all programs in your unit, and also to minimize any harm. Okay, so that's really my major theme. Is targeting is very, very important, because you're going to build all of your 5 Ps on targeting. So again, so we're going to talk about a little bit the product, the features, the benefits, design. We're going to talk about the price, how to price it, different pricing strategies, promotion, and how that differ also from on-campus, the place, and the people, right? So we're going to talk about those 5 and how each one of them is very important for the successful of your online program. But let's start with a quick exercise here. And let's say, what are the prospective students looking for in an online graduate program? And I would love you just to write, what do you think are they looking for to join your program as compared to other programs? You can write that in the chat if you like. Okay, so inexpensive with quality, flexibility and quality, excellent. Flexibility with work, 100% online, excellent, by the way, excellent. Gaining experience while living their lives, promotion and advancement, excellent. 100%. So yeah, I mean, the first thing that usually they ask about is course. Is it 100% online? Does it differ from the online in-person program? So you can see that there's a lot of things that we should include in our product feature, and there's many, okay, the quality of the program, the reputation of your faculty. Is it affordable? To what extent I need to, how fast I can complete it? The application, is it easy? Is it complex? What is it focused on skills, career prospects, return on investment, student support, resources that are available, in the diversity. What are the requirements? Particularly, they're concerned about entry level requirements like GRE, GMAT, flexibility, quality. So what I'm trying to say is that the list goes on and on and on and on. And there are many differentiators that you can introduce into your product. And you need to focus on the value proposition, where, although there are many, you have to focus your messaging on some, right? Because if you put, let's say, oh, I do all of those, and you have a list of 20, then the message will be so wide and not focused, right? So we need to focus on the differentiators for your own program. And things that you need to think about is that, we know the online setting or online education, there is a lot of competition going on. One of the things that you need to think of is the geographical targeting. For example, education in the United States is very expensive. So if I want to target, mainly I want to target usually US, the United States, for my online program. uh, because obviously international students, when they come here to the United States, or when they want to pay for education in the United States, they want to experience the United States because they're paying a lot of money. So again, what I'm trying to highlight here is that you need to look at what is your geographical targeting, if any, and then who are you trying to compete with, right? So for example, in my case, I try to compete with Ivy Leagues that provide any type of online graduate program in MHRM, but also the Big Ten. I'm not really per se competing with online universities, but you know, you have to identify who are your major competitors and what is their value proposition, right? And then the differentiators that they provide, those qualities that we've talked about in the product, can you match those? Will you match those? Will you exceed them by providing other differentiators? So I want you, you know, we need to think about those before we we establish our program, preferably, obviously. So for example, in my program, I try to focus on quality, on flexibility. Quality, I said, like, okay, you know, everything is provided in-house. My professors actually provide the courses and design the courses. Flexibility is very important, big thing. My program differentiates itself from other programs because we focus on skills, right? So it's very focused on HR skills, as compared to other programs where they might introduce other courses that are not really HR related, more complementary or OB, if you want, focused. And the brand, I always focus on our brand, on our alumni, on our reputation. And although it's not the cheapest, it's affordable compared to my competitors, to my competitive group. So that's how I differentiate my program, right? And again, for each one of you, whenever they think, what are the top 5, 6 differentiators in your online program? Any questions when it comes to the product itself? Okay. So the next point that I want to also highlight is your pricing. And there are many ways to price your product or your program. One of them is to calculate, if you want, your cost, and then, you know, basically mark it up. Another one is just to provide a very competitive price, try to beat most in the market. One way to do it is to price high and then reduce it through scholarships, or price low, and then, you know, based on the market forces, you can actually then increase the price. And some really do some market research, and you just price it based on how much potential students will value your product. So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is to do like a market study of your competitors, and then you might just, you know, price at the average or above the average or below the average, right? It is not unusual, but that's a very good point. So for example, in-state, out-of-state, you might have different prices or the same price, right? But it all comes to, which really is in the second price, it comes to the policies of your university, right? So each university has different policies. Like for some universities, especially online universities, they're market oriented, and they allow you know, different programs to price based on what they see mostly appropriate, right? But some universities don't allow it. Some universities allow you to do some price changes at the beginning when you're proposing the program, but then after that, the increase in price is managed by the university, right? So it really depends on your university and the policies in your university. That said, I want you always to think about it that way. If your university is not really cooperative when it comes to, you know, how to price your product or your program competitively, then one way to think about it is scholarship. Scholarship, a lot of people think about it, it's merit-based, etc. But you can think about scholarship as a discount tool, right? So you can, if you want, moderate the price of your product based on scholarship. And scholarship, usually the school or sometimes even departments might have control on how much scholarship you can offer. Now, that said, remember that scholarship by itself, most of the money will come back to the department. So the actual cost of scholarship is around 20-25% of the cost. So you just deduct the cut, if you want, of the university, and this money will come back to you. So the actual cost of a scholarship, for example, at Rutgers, is around 70%, is around 25% of the amount, right? So if I spend, let's say, $100,000, $75,000 will come back to you, right? And then also, when you're providing scholarships, such as, for example, even like partial scholarship, the additional income is also based on the fees and also the other courses that they enroll in. So again, it's all win-win as long as you are breaking even, right? So any dollar above the break-even point for any program is profit, right? So you have to think about it that way from a business perspective. So I truly encourage you to think about a scholarship as a promotional tool, right? As a discount tool, not only as a merit-based tool, especially if your university does not allow you to control pricing. So that's something that I just want to highlight when it comes to pricing limitations and discount. So is there anything about pricing that you would like me to address before I move into promotion? Okay. I hope that this presentation is beneficial so far. So another thing that I want to, we need to think about is how to promote our program. And obviously, it's an online program, so most of our promotion will be online. For example, we tested a lot of marketing channels in our program, and we ended up to identify as Google search engine and LinkedIn ads as the most effective, if you want. Google, because a lot of people use Google, obviously, and LinkedIn ads, we can actually target certain population, filter people based on the number of years of experience and obviously their expertise. So we can target people better, if you want, in LinkedIn. And those are the two things. But I just want to highlight things about marketing also that are important. In addition to those online channels, where you can also investigate others based on your demographics and your targeting. We also use email campaigns, and email campaigns we usually do agreements with professional associations. Again, for example, in my case, I'm targeting HR professionals only. So I go for SHRM, I go for Coupa HR, I go for the Association for Talent Development, a lot of professional associations within my discipline. And we invest not only with email campaigns, but also we attend our conferences. We have we promote it there, and we put banners on their websites. So again, you have to identify your channels, and especially where you have concentrations, if you want, of your target population. Those cost a lot of money, obviously, so we have to be careful on what exactly we're targeting in terms of professional associations. In addition to that, we create databases, and that's very important for you to have a database of all of the leads that you collect throughout, if you want, different marketing channels, and to send continuous messaging to them, right? Do you do your own marketing? Yes, for now, we do our internal marketing. And also we use external vendors for Google Ads and for LinkedIn. So for LinkedIn and Google Ads, we have external vendors, but for others, like agreements with professional associations, our email blasts, we also conduct, for example, open houses, etc. Those are done internally. So it's a mix between vendors and internal. Okay. So, but the idea is that also we collect all of those leads that we collect throughout the way, through different channels. We keep them in our database as well, right? As much as possible. and then we send them also our email blast, mainly to invite them to open houses or to remind them of the deadlines, etc. And we conduct those virtual open houses also, where I call those people hot leads that attend the open houses, and we focus more on them through follow-ups to start their application. And I cannot emphasize how important, especially for adult learners, follow-ups, right? To follow up with people, particularly the ones that started the application, or and to help them to complete the application, because they're busy, they might forget. So again, follow-ups are important through emails, through phone calls, virtual meetings if they require that. And then have all of your tools ready as well. Frequently asked questions, different types of documents, how to apply, overview for the program. I have a presentation for most of the questions that are asked and explaining them. So I have those documents handy, and and even I have like most of the questions, I standardize the replies for them, because believe it or not, they're very recurrent. So you can optimize even your replies to the prospective students. So have all of those ready. They will be very handy. So those are some things that I highly recommend. And the most important part, believe it or not, is your web page. Why? Because it will act as a landing page for different marketing channels. And you can monitor the effectiveness of each and every channel, right? Because you can have a different link that will go to your landing page. So you can know, for example, how many people are coming from LinkedIn into your landing page, how many people are coming from Google Ads, etc. So you can look at the effectiveness, if you want, of each and every marketing channel. And ultimately, the aim of any marketing channel is to land on your page where they can be reoriented to apply and to investigate if you want the program further. Do you segment your leads and do different marketing? Yes, exactly. We do. We do segment our leads, and that's why we have different marketing channels, right? And we can know, for example, how many hot leads I'm getting from this channel, from this channel. For example, I know, I advertised a lot through SHRM, and I made a lot of email blasts. So the effectiveness of SHRM is declining. I can reinvest the money into Google Ads, for example, for the time being, and then maybe postpone the email blast for SHRM for another, like, let's say, 2 or 3 months, so that people will check it again. So again, we can, analytics is very important, obviously, and the marketing team should also be able to help you with that, right? And you can monitor, even if you want to be a geek, if you want more, you can monitor the demographics of each and every, the leads, the hot leads that are coming into from different channels as well. So, for example, the Google ads tend to be more generic. Anyone and everyone might apply, might be, say that I'm interested in your program, but they might not have the requirements. But in LinkedIn, you can be more targeting, because LinkedIn allows you to do so. So again, there is advantages and disadvantages, and cost also related things for each and every marketing channel. But the thing that I want to highlight, and this is important, is that your competitors, when it comes to the product, might be different than your competitors when it comes to promotion. Believe it or not. So, for example, in my program, I compete with Coursera. I compete with William Patterson. I compete with Villanova. I compete with Western Governors University. I compete with University of South California, right? Those are not my Louisiana State University. Those are not within my competitive group in my product, right? But they spend a lot of money on the same keywords that I use in Google Ads, for example, right? So those are my competitors in promotion, but they're not my competitors in product. So, and that's really different in a way. So that's why I want to highlight that your competitors in each and every P might be different than the other P, right? Under the 5P model. And that's important. Obviously, here number one is Cornell, which is considered one of my major competitors. Penn State University is a major competitor for me, right? But and New York University, but the others are not. Yes, that's Adrian. That's actually very important. Can I talk about? Can you remind me of that question when I reach students? Because I want to talk about that in more details. Yeah, you're right. Yes. Uh, and another thing that I want to highlight is that the cost for online advertisement tend to be more expensive than on-campus programs. Why? Because of the nature of the keywords that you're using, uh, and because you're more targeting, and thus anything that adds online as a keyword in the search usually is more expensive because more people are advertising. And thus, I gave you an example here, like when it comes to Google Ad, for on-campus programs, we're talking about 63 cents per click. But the average cost for online keywords is 93 per click, so 30 cents more, right? So always argue for your administrators that when it comes to marketing budget for online programs, you definitely need higher marketing budget to achieve the same effectiveness as on-campus programs. Okay, that's I think something that to note as well that is important. Any questions concerning promotion, or if you wanna? Okay. So for the place, I mean, I think we're more acquainted with that. Most of the people that are involved in online education, obviously, there is the learning management system. It's very important to have structure for courses, and similar structures across courses is important for consistency. Accessibility is a big thing, obviously. Now, luckily enough, most learning management system can identify if there is any type of accessibility issues. Uh, Having different, different media and different types of material to accommodate for different learning preferences, I found that very important for student experience. For example, I provide audio, video, and written lectures, in different formats, the same lecture, and you have, it caters for different preferences as well. Student interaction is important for some. Some are less interactive. Others, they really need more interaction. So we provide a mix of office hours plus, asynchronous material. And then the learning technologies, there's a lot of emphasis on learning technologies, and I agree, to incorporate a lot of learning technologies. But the most important part is to facilitate learning, right? And some people take it to the next level in terms of complexity, and it fires back on you. So again, the aim is not more complexity. The aim is better learning experience, right? When it comes to the place. So I believe this is important to highlight as well. Uh, and the people, and here, Adrian, remember our audience is the student, and our target is the student, right? And they care about, and in my case, my students, their average age is 38 years, right? So my students are adult learners. They're working. They're in their mid-career. They're in their advanced career, and that's how I differentiate the product or my program. So work-life balance for them particularly is very, very important, and thus we need to communicate that to the faculty to be more accommodating, and to remind the faculty that you're dealing with a different level of students than fresh graduates. And student engagement is very important, and service, and how I keep the community intact. Student counselors are very important in that sense. My student counselors, the customer service people, I will say, right? Having customer service skills, follow-up skills, always checking on students, calling them, sending them progress reports. All of those are very important to engage students. And some programs do orientations. I don't prefer to do one-time orientation per semester. What I do usually is that I offer as a program director a course, And then I use this course not only as a course, but I use it as a continuous orientation for 1 month, for the duration of a semester, right? So in this, I provide frequent office hours where I communicate that those office hours are not only for the course itself, but also for the program. Uh, and then you build a good relationship as a program director plus the student counselor to build some kind of a direct connection with each and every student. And believe it or not, a lot of students also will form a lot of communities in the courses, and they will form some community. Now you cannot force it on students because, as we see, our type of students are mature students, they're busy, so some of them choose to interact more than others, and we need to accept that as part of the demographic characteristics that we have. Adrian, did I address this question? Okay, and it's very important for adult learners is to remove any dissatisfiers. So, in other words, anything that annoys them, right? For example, in the application process, simplify it. Simplify it as much as possible. For example, ask yourself: do I need 5 recommendation letters for an adult learner to apply? Maybe 2 is more than enough, right? Do I need the GRE if I'm requiring 5 years or 6 years of experience? Maybe I don't, right? So I want to remove any dissatisfiers from the application process. And remember, the experience starts from the application process. And then talk to the professors. Assessments, for example. Are they accommodating for the time of the people? I had some issues, for example, from professors that are providing assessment at a certain time, certain date. And I say, come on, right? Those are working individuals. Give them a deadline and then they submit by the deadline. Or if they have to take an assessment, make it throughout a duration of 3 days where they can access that assessment and take it, right? So again, flexibility is very important. Another thing that I do personally is that I monitor retention rates, and I monitor who's enrolling, who's not, and following up with every single individual if they're enrolling in the courses, and if they're not, why, and how can I help. So again, personalized attention is very important. Um, yes, we do. We include them in all of our alumni activities. They receive our services from career services, or all the advertisement, all the emails that we send, all the communication. They're even invited to also be part of our alumni. They're just another student that graduate from our program. Can you elaborate on referral campaign? What do you mean, real by referral campaign? There's a lot of referrals, like if you want, like from our students to other students. So we're noticing that when you have a good program, uh, a lot of students actually refer others to the program. Uh, did I address that, Adrian? Yes, yes. That comes naturally because of the quality of the program, and thankfully that is happening now more frequently. So yes, and students refer others, and if they refer others, we provide them with we initiate contact with them. We do that, uh, and the most important part is that we always monitor each person individually, right? Me and Alison, obviously, the student counselor that I have, and we provide feedback and continuous communication throughout the degree until graduation, and we provide progress reports. So we have certain time points when we initiate progress reports, when we send emails. So we have regular communication plan in addition to the irregular ones when we need to take any action. Yeah, I'm not able to do incentives for referrals, unfortunately. uh, because of some policies. Yeah. So this is also like those are important when it comes to the people, but the people also remember, including that, is the student counselor. Yeah, very important. And choose your student counselor to have customer service skills. Uh, that's very important. And then the faculty themselves, to train them, to engage them, to motivate them to deliver online courses. And based on my experience, faculty usually are at early stages resistant to participate in online education, but when they get used to it, they actually prefer it over in person. So uh, it takes time to break the ice with faculty, but ultimately they get it as well. Instructional designers, I look at them as a strategic partner supporting the faculty, but also looking at accessibility issues, at issues in general, really, for students. So it's good to have a good partnership with instructional designers. I call them the backbone, if you want, of the program, and look at the program manager or director as the project manager, right? That plans and orchestrate all of the people in the program. There are other types, other people that are important. Obviously, the marketing team, I didn't include it here because it's part of the promotion that I mentioned earlier. But the marketing team is also very important. So again, we need to orchestrate all of the people, and the focus should be always our students. Now, it makes your life much easier to create a process and procedure for every single thing, right? And then, when it comes to communication, course assessment, follow-ups, enrollments, admission, graduation, have a process in place, write it down, and have all the documents for each and every process written, and then optimize them, optimize them, optimize them. It makes your life much easier if everything is documented and eventually optimized. We reach the stage where we have minimal student inquiry. Why? Because everything is structured, everything is clear, right? So that takes time, but within 2-3 years, you can optimize most of your policies and procedures. And that helps also the people to deliver better results as well. Whether faculty, whether counselors, whether program director, all of us will act much better if we have institutional memory that is within the process, within the documents. Yes, so I engage with professional associations, and now I'm trying to reach out to different large employers as well to build strategic initiatives with them. That's my next step that I'm trying to do now. But with professional associations, we do have a strong relationship as well, and we participate in their conferences. We have a booth in most of the conferences, banners, just name it. Engagement clubs. So we have a SHRM club as well. For the professional association, we have a club here, and online students join it. So we have good relationships as well with the professional associations. And I go and also, intentionally participate as a presenter in conferences for professional associations. And the reason why is to promote my program indirectly, and sometimes I ask them to directly promote my program. So yeah. So again, quick takeaways, and I'm gonna open the floor because I would love to even answer more questions. So the idea is to define that your target market. That's really an important thing to do, and try to minimize harm, as I mentioned before, and maximize benefit. Look at overlaps with other programs so that hopefully your program will be adding value and adding revenues without cannibalizing others. And then analyze your competitors, and for each and every P, analyze your competitors, not only for the product, but for the product, for the price, for the promotion, so that you know exactly who you are competing with on each and every P, right? And then the price, you don't have to be the cheapest, but obviously the price has to make sense based on your offering, on your value that you're offering. And that's very tricky. And one way of doing, of if you want controlling the price as well, is scholarship, as I mentioned before. Course design is important and delivery is important. The media channels also is important, as we've mentioned here, to optimize your benefit from each and every media channel, diversify them as much as possible, but also look at the utility of each, and so you can invest your money in a smart way. And again, our aim is our students, right? And everything should be aiming for the students. I know a lot of programs, sometimes they offer some courses because faculty are interested in delivering the course, not necessarily, for example, the student, right? Some administrators might behave with the students as if they are, as if we still have an upper edge on them, etc. We really need to communicate to our student counselors and administrators that we need to be more customer oriented, right? And in general, nice, right? And follow ups, etc. So we need to change our mentality into more business mentality rather than, a traditional academic setting mentality. And support for adult learners. And remember, the adult learner particularly is very sensitive. They can leave the product or discontinue the application process just because of little dissatisfiers, or small dissatisfiers. So we have to enhance them, support them, and make sure that they're satisfied throughout the process, from the application till the graduation, and monitor each one of them because we have different needs for each person. So those are my takeaways. And I'm going to open the floor now for questions and comments. I did, but ultimately, because we are at Rutgers, and the cost for us will be a little bit higher than our budget. So hopefully Rutgers will centralize that, chatbots for us. For now, unfortunately, we can't do that because of budget issues. Yeah, the problem in general is that, let's say I'm not part of the, let's say, business school. Business school has a higher budget. Yes, hopefully, William. So, see, we do what is possible within our budget, obviously, and your job as a director, obviously, is to convince others to spend money on the product. Obviously, let's say the dean and other administrators, senior administrators, have their priorities, and our job is to sell our priorities as well to them when it comes to marketing. For example, hopefully at Rutgers in the future we'll have more central marketing as well. That will help us a lot. So again, you have to navigate what is available and try to push to what's not currently available to be added. If the program isn't enrolling as high as expected, what is the first P? There's no first P. Now, obviously, promotion, price, product are the first three, right? That you think about, obviously, right? Is there a problem in your product? Is there a problem in your pricing? Is there a problem in your promotion, particularly in your ads? You have to figure that out, obviously. There is no one P, and that's why I always talk about the 5 P. You have to pay attention to all of those five. So all of them are important. Then, if I make sense, if your product is not of value, obviously it won't sell. If it's really overpriced to your competitors, it won't sell. If you're not marketing it well, really, it won't sell. I mean, for me particularly, because I'm sure that my product is optimized and it's really good, right? And the price is competitive. My major focus every day is promotion. Really, that's really my concern, because I'm sure that the other piece are good, and my people are good as well. So mainly my focus is promotion. Promotion is my focus now, because I try to optimize others. Uh, Programs in terms of what? How to encourage faculty? There are many ways to encourage faculty to participate in online education. I personally started encouraging faculty by offering financial incentives or course relief, right? So the start was, to be honest with you, $10,000 for a design course design, and then I give them the first try to offer that course, right? So whenever they're available to offer it, they're the first to offer that course. If they're not available, then others will offer the course. So in a way, they will think that it's not a waste of their time. They're going to be rewarded financially on the design, and then they have the priority when it comes to delivery of the course. We started that, and then after a while, and then some, especially tenured track, they preferred a course relief, and that was the incentive. But then after they experienced online education and they experienced how much flexibility it provides them, right? And how much they can optimize the material as well. And like in online course design and delivery, at the beginning it takes more time, but later on it takes less time, as a matter of fact, to manage a course, because you've invested a lot in it. So they found the benefits, and then a lot of my faculty now, they want to teach online, right? So I started the incentives at the beginning, and then after that, the incentives were removed. Why? Because the supply, if you want, of professors that are willing and they want to design and deliver online courses increased tremendously. So that's why I removed the incentives later. Yeah, of course. Uh, so we still have like 3-4 minutes. Any questions, really? I would love to answer any question, or just to give my insight. So So there are no other questions. I just want to highlight one thing. I mean, we all know I'm personally an academic, obviously, and then became an administrator. And but I came from a business background, and I know some of you might actually come from a business background or not. I just want to highlight one thing, though, is that uh, academic programs, whether online or in person, you have to look at them as also as a product, as a business. Where you have to pay attention to all of the 5 Ps. Um, and if you change your mentality from purely academic mentality to also like product oriented and customer oriented, and you know and educating ourselves about some business skills as program directors, will be much more successful in attracting students, in retaining students, and satisfying them, and also to increase our revenues in our department. So this shift in mentality from a pure academic standpoint to a more, if you want, business oriented thinking when it comes to programs, academic programs, we have to pay, especially that, as you all know, competition is very fierce now in academia. Uh, you have to look at your demographics, Suzanne. That's very important. Now, Google Ads is a generic tool that works for most, if not all, demographics. But for example, in my case, I capitalize a lot on LinkedIn. Why? Because I have an experience requirement that is 4 years plus experience in HR, so that I won't cannibalize what my in-person program, right? So that's why for me, uh, more targeting on professional associations and LinkedIn, because in LinkedIn you can filter people based on their experience and their titles, etc. Right? I find that more useful. So you have to look at your program and your targeting from the beginning, and then utilize the channel. Younger people, you might go for Instagram, for example. It depends on the, who you are targeting. It's important. So that's why, yeah. What services do you think should be handled centrally? Marketing helps a lot, Bill. Really, I mean, marketing, it's a huge overhead. Strengthening the brand of the university and its online offerings is extremely important at the central level because of the cost and because of the cross fertilization. As a matter of fact, it's really important as well to orient the leads to different programs. That helps a lot. I personally look at marketing as the first priority to centralize, in addition to personalized, if you want, marketing for each and every department. But central marketing is very important. As an example, a lot of universities are doing so. Uh, uh, and that's really, we have limited budget, and at the central, it makes more sense to centralize marketing. Instructional design might be centralized as well, depending on how many instructional designers you have on the, at the central level. If you have too many and you can recruit too many, then each, team of instructional designers might serve different units as well. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and thank you a lot for listening. Again, I shared my contact details, and if you need to contact me directly to talk about it more, I'll be more than happy to do so. Thanks a lot.